My name is Jack Jacobi. I'm the Vice Chair of the School Building Committee. I'd like to welcome you all here today to a fabulous event, the ribbon cutting for our brand new high school. I was reflecting, while preparing for today, that back in the 90s and early 2000s, we rebuilt or rehabilitated every school building in the city. But we only could dream of a new flagship. And that dream really took root 8 years ago. On February 14th, 2014, we submitted a statement of interest to the MSBA, asking them if we could rehab or rebuild Attleboro High School. In January 2015, they invited us into the program. In March 2016, we selected Skanska as our owner's project manager. In June 2016, we selected KBA as the architect. In September of 2016, we spent 3 days over at Sensata visioning what a new high school would look like. Who knew that the Table 2 vision, Laurie, would be built today? The next major event was that in February of 2018, we finished the feasibility study and determined that yes, cost less. So we decided we would build this new high school. And April 3rd, 2017, the citizens of Attleboro voted a debt exclusion so that we could build this. In July of 2018, we hired Consigli as our construction manager. And then things got real serious. In October of 2019, we had our groundbreaking. Today we have the ribbon cutting. For all those in the public who want to see the building, on September 24th, from 9 to 12, we're going to have an open house for everyone in the community. This was dubbed a blue jewel by the Attleboro Sun Chronicle, and I couldn't agree with them more. This is a sparkling sapphire. But it takes a village, as a politician once said, to build something like this. And so I want to recognize, and we will have some speakers who may do more of that, but that the City Council is here, the Mayor is here. I also want to include our former Mayor, Kevin Dumas, who played a large role. Jeremy Stull, who has been the staff person for the School Building Committee. Also, great help in City Hall from the auditor, from the treasurer, from Public Works, from water, from sewer, from the building department. The school committee, the zoning board, the planning board, the conservation commission, and then our school staff, Dave Sawyer, Laurie Reagan, Mark Furtado, Jason Parento, Kate Campbell, Jeremy Gay, and Bill Rooney, who was our principal until recently. Consigli is our construction manager. They're in the back. They did a fabulous job. I know I'm going to leave out some names, but Steve Johnson, Corey Wild, Rachel Flynn, Allie Mullen, DeAndre Nixon, and Dave Gorman all played enormous roles. Skanska is our owner's project manager. Marianne Williams, Anjanette Kelso, Bob Charist, and Mike Culla were the principal staff members. Our architect, who took that visioning and turned it into this building, from KBA, Craig Olson and Joe Milani. I especially want to thank our partner, the MSBA, because without almost half the money, we certainly couldn't have done this. We're going to ask Jack McCarthy to speak. Our project manager at the MSBA is Ashley Smith. And then I want to recognize a group of people very near and dear to my heart, the School Building Committee. Andrew Acosta, Mike Tyler, Ed Stanton, Gail Clark, Mayor Heroux, Scott Domenici, Rob Geddes, Jerry Freecott, Jackie Romanicki, Terry DeSisto, Jay Allard, Dave Sawyer, Lori Reagan, Steve Withers, Kate Campbell, Jeremy Gay, Mark Furtado, Jason Parento. A group of volunteers that have given thousands of hours to make this a reality. So today we're going to celebrate by cutting the ribbon, but first I want to ask Mayor Heroux to come up and give a few remarks.
Thank you, Jack. You took most of what I was already going to say.
I have a habit of that, Mayor.
So thank you all for being here this evening. This is a wonderful milestone for our city. We have a new state-of-the-art high school. This is the best school in the state. There was opposition to calling this school a Taj Mahal in the early part of the campaign approval for this building, but this is a Taj Mahal. We should be proud of it, own it. You know, this is a beautiful building. There were a lot of people who got angry when I would say that early on. You know, I'm not clairvoyant or anything, but I just knew that this was going to be a beautiful building. It is one. We have one of the nicest schools in the state, possibly even the region. I would say it's the nicest school in the state at this point. As Jack said, the school started many years ago. It was a vision, it became a gentle push, the gentle push became a campaign, and the campaign was successful in 2018 with 2/3 of the voters approving this project. Now, we're here today with this completed project on time and slightly under budget, and failure would have had one father, and that would have been probably the mayor. But success has many fathers and mothers. And I was fortunate to have such a competent team of people working on this project. I'll start with just a handful. I'm not going to mention nearly as many as Jack, but just a handful. Steve and his team at Consigli. So I remember in 2018 when Consigli applied for this position, and there were other construction firms that were interested in this. Consigli stood just far above everyone else. They were just so far ahead of all the other presentations. They were hungry for this project. They showed an optimism, they showed an energy, and you know, the school building committee, we were pretty much unanimous that they were the firm to go with. And my gosh, I'm glad we did. They were, and I watched over the last 3 years all the work that they've done, and you know, watched closely, you know, the way they work with other people. Disagreements were very professional, very smooth. You know, they always came to a nice resolution. I couldn't highly recommend them enough. We had Marianne and her team at Skanska. When I started as mayor in January of 2018, I sat down with Marianne and I said, Marianne, is this really the cheapest school we can build? Well, let me rephrase that. The least expensive school we can build. She went over it with me very closely, carefully, and it was. This was the least expensive school, but I had full confidence in the owner's project manager, Marianne and Skanska. They did an outstanding job working for the city to make sure that this project was done right. Joe and his team at Castle Booze, your level of detail and explanation on things was just, you know, second to none. You know, Joe and Craig and everybody at your firm, just outstanding work. Jack Jacobi. Now, Jack, you were there for, I think, almost every meeting. You know, Jack was instrumental in, you know, asking the right questions, making sure that this project was still moving along. And, you know, Jack, if I can name something after you in my remaining time as mayor, I'll try and figure something out, because you deserve it. Now, the MSBA, as Jack said, without the MSBA, this project wouldn't have been possible. They supplied about half of the funding for this project, and they were excellent partners to work with, never contentious, always cooperative. You know, they trusted us, they worked really well. It was excellent, you know, very good partnership. We should also remember the school committee who pushed for this campaign and for this project. The school committee are the ones who, for years, were pushing for this. Without the school committee's dedication to this project, we wouldn't be here today. It was the school committee and the members of the school committee, and then also a lot of other people who are here in the audience who were part of the campaign. In fact, just by a show of hands, if you were part of the campaign for yes costs less. Can you raise your hand just so we can see? Yeah, she'll identify. Very good. Thank you. It's a good number of you folks. The school committee and the Yes Costs Less campaign, thank you for your commitment. We also have to thank the many city departments, who I'm not going to repeat, but Jack went through all of them. We have the voters to thank for approving this. 2/3 of the voters approved this project. We also have the new neighbors. I'm sorry, they're not the neighbors. The neighbors. There are some new neighbors because some left. But the neighbors that stayed, thank you for your patience. This was a very large project right in your neighborhood, right in your backyard. But speaking well of Consigli again, they couldn't have been more accommodating to the neighbors. They were very sensitive to the neighbors' needs, and any complaint we got, they always got right down to it. And so the neighbors were very patient. Also, lastly, to the citizens of Attleboro who are paying for this. This is, it's an expensive building, $250 million. It's a real strain for a lot of families and a lot of people on fixed incomes, but everybody came together and it was the right thing to do. And the city is better off for it, the students are better off for it, and our community is better off for it. So this is an amazing school, and I believe that this school will probably outlive all of us here today. So thank you for having me, and thank you for. You laughed at that? Yeah, it'll be here for.
I said it better.
What's that? The school, yeah, school will outlive us. It'll be here, but long after us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. The leader, Dave Sawyer, please come up.
It is difficult to comprehend that it was almost 3 years ago when we broke ground on this momentous project. And while many of the same people here today gathered just around the corner of this now formidable structure, quite a bit else has transpired since that joyful occasion. Frankly, things have changed in ways we could not have imagined that day. And I would argue that we are never returning to the world we knew in that moment. Luckily, we never intended to build a school for 2019. Actually, luck has nothing to do with it. No, this school was designed to provide the pedagogical flexibility necessary for a future we knew to be uncertain. And at its heart, an education is founded not on our dogmatic convictions regarding what we believe should be, but on the potential inherent with what is still undetermined. In the Attleboro Public Schools, we meet students wherever they are to develop the skills and attitudes that will propel their future success in endeavors that often we cannot even yet conceive. This is the ultimate value of public education and the self-evident justification of a project of such magnitude. This Attleboro High School is so much more than the shiny new school towering impressively before us. It is a monument to the community's commitment to its children and a beacon of our faith in a future we are all striving to create for them. Thank you to everyone who has helped to make this ambitious dream our everyday reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And now our partner, the MSBA, Jack McCarthy.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Treasurer Goldberg, who's the chair of the MSBA, and on behalf of Ashley Smith, who is way back there, who's your project manager on this, and Evan Levesque, who's also a project manager at MSBA, but not on this, but he lives here, so he has a vested interest in this as well. So they're both here, and I thank them for being here. But thank you for inviting us. The mission of the Massachusetts School Building Authority is to partner with Massachusetts communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this project certainly meets that ideal. Benjamin Franklin once said, an investment in education pays the best interest. And we're proud to be your investing partners to the tune of approximately $122 million. I just want to introduce some folks that you didn't get a chance to say hello to. And that's Senator Paul Feeney over there in the back, and Representative Adam Scanlon next to him. And everybody knows Representative Hawkins. He told me that he's going to come out of retirement to go teach in here again, so I don't know. But Senator Roush couldn't make it, but I just want you to know, and this is probably, I call this my Captain Obvious part of the speech, but you have an unbelievably outstanding legislative delegation. They're always making sure that we're doing what we can for Attleboro. They were watching this project, calling me up, hounding me, basically being pains in the neck, but that is their job. But so I just want to thank them all for their leadership on this. And I want to congratulate Mayor Heroux and Jack and his crew, you know, putting together the consultants that you guys did. I mean, I was not surprised to hear that this was going to be actually under budget and on time, because that's what Consigli, Castle Booze, and Skanska do for us all over the Commonwealth. So congratulations, and thank you for your leadership shown on making this project happen in the right way. And thank you to the Skanska, Consigli, and Castle Booze for doing such a tremendous job. I like to close with this quote, and it sort of tells you how we feel about what we do at the MSBA every day. Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once described a school as a building of 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are proud to be part of Attleboro's tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll cut the ribbon. So all of the ribbon cutters, come on up. All of you. Okay, are we ready? 1, 2, 3, cut! Thank you all. For those of you who have not been inside the building and would like to go in, our staff will give you some tours if you would like to. We also have some cookies and some water in case you need that. Thank you all for coming.